even as like almost like seeing her from like an older sister perspective, that you would have thought that she would have saw her as at that time training her, right? um like, even let's compare to Obi-Wan to Anakin. Obi-Wan always saw Anakin as like a little brother. So granted, I don't know their exact relationship at this point, so I can't sit here and judge that, but I would say you would think training someone, you would at least be close to that person. So I think it's still on Ahsoka for just dropping everything and just abandoning. Like, you can give this girl some sort of direction. Even if you can't do it because you have higher priorities, you don't just leave this girl to go. I mean, that's why she went rebel, basically. That's why she went, she's over there driving land speeders, not showing up at ceremonies because she doesn't trust anybody. So, I mean, it makes sense. She clearly has trust issues. But I give Sabine credit because, yeah, we knew she had some sort of background, but she still held her own for being out of training for that long. Like, I mean, there was no contest really, but I mean, for her to just pull out a lightsaber and at least be prepared on that end, I will say I got to give Sabine credit because I thought she held her own for what she could. I mean, anyone else that had just been pretty much abandoned, that wasn't practicing anything, would have gotten pretty much owned immediately. So I blame this all on Ahsoka because in the end, if you revert back to Obi-Wan, even when the world is going to shit with Obi-Wan and Anakin and halflings were being, discovered, and then you had the Jedi Temple that was basically destroyed with a massacre, and then you had the whole Clone Wars going to shit, Obi-Wan flew all the way out to fucking Mustafar while his apprentice was fucking up the world, and that was his responsibility. And Obi-Wan still didn't abandon him. This is on her. This is all Ahsoka's fault.
Ahsoka should have been like, all right, I'm going to fly you over to your little hut. You're going to get off this ship, and you're going to figure it out on your own. I'll stay on my ship. I'm going to be in your front yard. So I'm making sure you figure this out because I know there's people after this. Like, she's smart enough to know that there's people actively pursuing this item, So she just didn't really think it through. She was sitting there complaining to Captain Syndulla about how, she's a challenging apprentice. That's why she had to stop training her, because she was afraid of what she could become, because she's very hard-headed and she's Mandalorian, and all this boo-hooing that Ahsoka's doing about why she ended up leaving and leaving Sabine behind. She could have just been sitting there in the front yard, at least given some level of protection. You know what I mean? Remember those old school days? Where people left their dog. They had their big dogs outside in the fence around the house, and it said "Beware the dogs." So you knew not to enter that place with any bad intentions, because that dog right there, and he's either gonna let you know someone's going, or he's gonna take care of it himself. Well, that could have been Ahsoka if she just stayed right in front of the yard, and all of a sudden, when Sheen Hati decided to show up, Ahsoka's like, well, now you know who you're fighting. All right,
now you know who you're fighting
for sure. Like, at that point, I don't think we would have much of a problem, because I don't think Sheen Hati can really hold a candle to Ahsoka. She's only an apprentice herself. So, I think there's a lot of ways you can go about this, but at the end of the day, I think the full culpability lies at Ahsoka's feet for the fact that, number one, she didn't train her to fully to begin with. If she had completed her duty as a Jedi master to teach an apprentice, which is your obligation, that you were supposed to do that's, you made the commitment to do it, and then you just gave up halfway through. If you had already, if you just completed your assignment that you signed up for, even Captain Harris said you knew what you signed up for, at that point, she would have been fully trained and probably fully capable of maybe not killing the other apprentice, but at least warding her off to where she needed to go get Daddy's skull to help out. You know what I mean? like there's just so many ways this could have gone, but nope. She's like, I'll see you later, Sabine. Won't talk to you for 20 years or so, and hopefully you don't have any problems. Hopefully the little motions of the sword I taught you will keep up for years on end, and you don't ever have to worry about it. Because then what happens, exactly what happens, she goes against someone who's fully trained, and she gets stabbed to the body, and all of us dies, if not dies. Because like I said, at the end of this episode, you're not sure if she dies or not. She's just laying there unconscious. So, yeah, I 100% agree that we're going to put the blame on Asoka Tano because she just gave up and decided the path was too hard. And I think he made a great comparison to no matter how hard the path got for Obi-Wan, he made sure he gave Anakin every single opportunity to do the right thing, every single possible opportunity to do the right thing. And Ahsoka, like the first sign of trouble, Ahsoka's like, yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna dip, but it's